Day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Greatly Grant channel. In this channel, we are talking about the UAG grant updates and information, and also we are also going to be updating you on the Theobarth and IMF and other grant informations. If you are new on this channel, consider subscribing so that when next we publish our next video, you will be kindly notified. Thank you once again for having me on Greatly channel. Bye for now.
How do you do? I trust you're having a fulfilled and rewarding day. We are here in the grant ecosystem, and as I can see the atmosphere, everything is working to the expectation of the masses. Disbursement is here with us. Today we will look at three critical subjects in this session. The complaint by bundle heads of a plan by NGO CEOs to disburse the only one bundle going to be given to them back to themselves among the circle of CEOs. Then the third concept is the expected arrangement towards the UAAG disbursement. Let's quickly look at the first subject of this session, which is the purported letter by Admin Rio currently circulating in the grant space. In the first instance, this Admin Rio did not believe in the existence of UAAG grant. He was campaigning and cajoling the media or the masses to believe on Theobarth grant. At a certain time, he started believing on the UAAG grant and cooked up one pest relief pack, deceiving the masses of going to disburse a grant to them as a relief before the disbursement of UAAG grants. He extorted money from the public, calling them to pay 1,000 naira to receive 1 million naira, or pay 5,000 to receive 5 million naira, when he is not even a grant handler. Having seen that he can't live up to his promise to the masses he extorted, he reinvented another plan and metamorphosed into cajoling some gullible media, the same people who extorted money from, cajoling them again into paying another 1,000 or 2,000 naira for him to publish a newspaper in an attempt to protest against the non-disbursement of UAAG grant, the same grant he never believed in the first instance. All this, the media should understand that Admin Rio is trying to save his head from being called to refund the millions of naira that he extorted from the masses. Looking critically at the contents of this purported Admin Rio newspaper publication, he claimed that the UAAG grant has been placed on fixed deposit. Is this actually true? And he's threatening of a mass protest because of delayed UAAG disbursement due to placing the grants on fixed deposit. This is purely a baseless and unsubstantiated claims in entirety. The UAAG country director, Apostle Ambassador Dr. Ken Wakama, intimated the masses that the grant is to be dropped in his account. He said the CBN have already concluded the plan for depositing the money in his account. At that instance, the masses are aware that the grant handlers were requested to provide 3 particular accounts to CBN for the money to be transferred into. This was as of last week. That implies between that sketch of last week to this today we are standing, we expected a feedback from the UAAG that the money has been dropped into the account for disbursement, and this is where all of us are. Then why is Admin Rio claiming of the money having been deposited in the UAAG grant account being placed on fixed deposit? This is one of those elements that we the masses need to fight against, because they are already a thorn in the flesh of the expected beneficiaries of this grant. I know the information, the topic itself is baseless. It holds no importance to the grant ecosystem at the moment. This is a misinformation, and you know the offense of misinformation in Nigeria. He needs to prove to the grant handlers how the grant was being deposited in the account with adequate weight of evidence. And if he doesn't have this evidence to prove to the masses and to the UAAG, then he needs to be picked and detained till the UAAG grant disbursement is complete. So the masses should not have anything to worry about such a baseless paper. It holds no importance and it holds no effect. The government, before they act, need to confirm if the acquisitions or the petitions submitted to them is substantiated enough. The question at the moment is the UAAG grant actually placed on fixed deposit as claimed by Admin Rio? The answer is no. The grant is not placed on fixed deposit. This is misinformation by Admin Rio and his team. And we call on the appropriate authority to investigate this misinformation and take adequate action against this to stop creating noise in the grant ecosystem. The Akwa Ibomites that Admin Rio is from disowned him a few weeks ago over the same misleading and criminal activity. This activity is purely a way of Admin Rio attempting to exonerate himself from the many extortions he has involved in the grant ecosystem, even when he's not a grant handler. And again, what moral standing does Admin Rio have to call on protest in a grant that he is not an architect of? Is he a grant handler? Is he a stakeholder that attracted this grant to Nigeria? No. So what responsibility or what right did he actually have to call for protest over a grant that he has no connection with? Admin Rio is a meddlesome interloper and should be treated accordingly, should be placed in the place he rightly belongs to. We, the masses, all grant subscribers, the NGO CEOs, the bundle heads, the entire masses in the grant ecosystem disown Admin Rio and his entire team over this purported newspaper publication. And we call on the UAAG or the grant handlers to investigate this misinformation and take adequate action on him. We don't want to see him strolling this media space and misleading the public. We are in the eve of UAAG grant disbursement. We don't want any distraction at this instance. All his team should be placed where they rightly belong to. If there is any reason for any protest, it is the NGO CEOs who are actual partners who come into one umbrella or one body to call for protest. But the activities happening lately doesn't give anyone any reason to resort into protesting, because from what the country director of UAAG said, disbursement is already at our doorsteps. Why should anyone protest at this hour? Now let's look at the second subject of this session. NGO CEOs planning to disburse the entire grant to themselves. Yes, the information or the voice note from this bundle head, according to him, that the NGO CEOs are planning to disburse the only one bundle they will be given back to themselves in a CEO forum. Now the question is this a fact? Is this claims by bundle head actually true? But I wouldn't have loved to talk more on this because there are committees in the UAAG responsible for addressing this. But for the sake of those audience who are calling on me to help inform the UAAG of the plan of the CEOs to truncate the disbursement of these grants to bundle heads. On this basis, I wish to state that to you bundle heads, you have nothing to worry about. If there is actually such plan or arrangement by NGO CEOs to disburse this money to themselves, there is an already set up committee by the UAAG to monitor at disbursement of these grants state by state, region by regions, by the UAAG monitoring team. There is a monitoring team that needs to checkmate the activities of these CEOs in every state of this federation. When the grant is disbursed completely to the recipient. This committee expects a statement of account filed within 5 to 7 days to the committee, and this committee will go through the statement to confirm if this money are actually disbursed to the bundle heads that deserves the grant. So no CEOs will truncate what is meant for the bundle heads or recipients. If there is any arrangement, there are some CEOs that have no beneficiaries or recipients that did not collect money from any bundle head in their circle. Those ones will rather focus on their community-based recipients. They will focus on the market places, the friends, the workplaces recipients. They will select or mobilize their own recipients from their states, their local government, and their communities to disburse to. Those ones did not collect any dime from any bundle head. I'm aware of those CEOs. If you are maybe encounter any arrangement by those states that are mobilizing for online recipient audience, that should not be a headache to any bundle head at the moment. Those CEOs that actually collected money for bundle heads is accountable to those bundle heads. They will disburse the grants to the bundle heads. There is a body that you need to report to if you subscribe a grant with a CEO and it doesn't disburse to you. Immediately during the disbursement process, and you notice your NGO CEO is not disbursing to you when you have made some financial commitments to such NGO. And you can report to us on the GFM channel if you are our member, and we will help communicate your official complaint to the UAAG authority concerned with this checkmating process or this monitoring team. Or then you can explore other modalities in the UAAG management. They will know exactly what to do with such NGO CEOs. Again, to you, the NGO CEOs, how will you feel if, even though you don't have anybody under you, and even though you don't have any bundle head subscribing under you, how will you feel if you disburse the whole 1,000 money back to yourself? And when you turn eye around your neighborhood, someone is sharing 2 cups of Gary with 7 or 8 family members. How will you feel when you see people, kids dropping out of school? Then you have millions of money accumulated in your bank account. People are going around struggling to have 1 or 2 squares in a day. People are sick, don't even afford drugs. How will you feel if you disburse the whole money back to yourself? I don't think any CEO will engage in this activity. For being a non-governmental organization upholding the core concept of humanitarianism, which is caring for the welfare of fellow humans. So I don't think any CEO will deny bundle heads the privilege of benefiting from this God's-given grant. We are all aware that we are not the owner of our lives. We can accumulate the whole money there, and the next snap of finger, it is gone. I will always ask people to reminisce back to the immediate past CEO of Access Bank. May his soul rest in peace. He owned a mansion in Lagos. Last month, he just, during his birthday, checked into the apartment. He hasn't actually enjoyed those luxuriousness. He constructed a university, but haven't actually lived to see the expansivity, the progress and productivity of that university. This should call the living into reason. Life can disappear at any time. Rather than accumulate excessive wealth that we don't want, we should use it to the betterment of fellow mankind. Spread your wealth to the masses. This is what is the reason of our existence. And this will equally give you more happiness than if the money is accumulated in your account and the whole humanitarian community, the whole societal circle, the humans are dying in hunger and poverty. Then to the bundle heads that are complaining or asking how they are going to benefit from the grant if there are no provisions for bundle heads. It's a simple mathematics. If you had 5 bundles and you were supposed to be paid as a bundle head, now there is no provision for bundle head, then you become a recipient, instant recipient in your NGO. That means 5 bundles become 5 recipients. So you supply 5 account name, different account name, one of your account name and 4 other from your friends or your family members to the CEO to be captured in the same slot. If you applied for 10 bundles, 20 bundles, then you simply provide 10 or 20 different account details to your NGO for disbursement. That is the arrangement for this episode of UAAG grant. So you are not actually be denied your entitlement as a bundle head, but you are paid as a recipient, pending subsequent grants that is oncoming after this one. This grant is assumed to be a logistic for everyone, logistic for you, the bundle head that spend money to mobilize the bundles, then logistic for the NGOs that have traveled around Abuja, stayed in hotel, that have even bought clusters since the era of Sem, Telpacon, Golden Bridge, Mama Supreme, Theobarth expensively. I know CEOs that have spent 20 million, 40 million naira since the past 7 years. So this particular grant may not actually redeem those expenses, but will at least take care of 70 to 80% of your expenses so far in the history of the grant ecosystem in Nigeria. The last question everyone wants to hear is, when is disbursement taking place? Going by feedbacks we are getting from authenticated sources, disbursement is scheduled to take place this week. I know some people will say that the usual this week, next week. We are tired of it in the grant ecosystem. But whether you believe it or not, UAAG disbursement is taking place this week. Trust God. We trust it is going to take place to the glory of God and humanity. UAAG disbursement is here with us.